Hey everybody, it's Michael. How are you? Let's see how I look. Trapped in a tube at 45,000 feet. Let's see. Can you comment here? What's did it talk about? Top chat. Uh, Whatever. So I'm looking at the news of the day on my way. How's the sound, by the way? I can't believe this. I finally got this thing hooked up. Howdy, sir. Power cut in Spain, Portugal. Yeah, I'm on my way east, and I've tried to tune out of the news. It's so repetitive. It's either you love Trump, you hate Trump. They're trying to beat up Biden on some channels, and the man's like got no air left in the balloon. How much more can you take of it all? So I'm gonna just try to tune out for a week. I got a great new podcast today, by the way. It's on the damage that pornography is doing, especially to the young. Why the marriage rate is down, why the birth rate is down. It's all due to pornography, or 90% of it. And the pornographers own Congress. There's absolutely not one voice in Congress speaking out against the damage and dangers of the porn industry. It's the same as the pot industry. Drugs, sex, and rock and roll own Congress. Meanwhile, okay, so we're getting some deportations. That's good. But in terms of the culture, are we saving our culture? I don't know. A little bit. They got some of the degenerates out of the schools. That's a good thing. Borders, language, culture. So he's doing 100 on borders. Is English only the law of the land yet? Because I don't know about you. I don't like pressing 2 for Spanish, 3 for Swahili, 4 for Tagalog, and 5 for my ass. I'm sick of it. I live in America. If you don't speak the language, how the hell can you vote? How the hell could you know what you're voting for? You more. It's incomprehensible to me that a nation is not glued by its language. Of course it is. You should not be allowed to vote unless you can read and write English. Period. That's the way it was when my grandmother came over. I sent notes of her practicing. So here we are. Life is what it is, and I'm not complaining. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. There's things in my body that are broken. They're getting old, like an old Buick. I'm like a. Sometimes I feel like a Buick Riviera with parts falling off. No, I don't know a lot of broken stuff. You know what keeps me going in a way? Um, in '09, no, in 19, I had an incident, cardiac incident. Okay, survived it, whatever. So soon thereafter, Bernie Sanders had 2 or 3 stents from a heart attack. And that bastard, that communist son of a bitch, gets up and screams with occasional cortex at rallies. Now, I figure if he can do it and not worry about a blowout, hey, he's an inspiration to me. If that evil son of a bitch can go on like this, screaming and yelling with that finger pointing, what is this with the Jewish communists with the finger? Why do they always use the finger? I'll never understand it. Larry David, they all do the finger. Bernie Sanders, Larry David, they're on the finger. So here I am. You want to see the dog? You can do an appearance. We can have, but he's sleeping. We're trying to keep him asleep. Huxley is his name. We named him for Aldous Huxley. Okay, folks. Different strokes for different folks. How far is it now? I'm over New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I don't want to ever go there again, but I loved it when I was there. I was at the Super Bowl. Remember that story? I left at halftime when that degenerate half stripper came out on stage. Beyonce, I couldn't stand her. I don't understand it. How did they get such low class, low rent entertainers to such high levels? And different people. I walked out of the Super Bowl once. I told the story. Halftime, people said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to walk back to the hotel." And they said, "Don't do that. It's a dangerous city." I had to get out of that stadium. I could not look at that low-grade entertainer Beyonce. I couldn't stay. I think it was her. I don't know who it was. I just don't go for that act. So I go out, and the streets are eerily empty, and I start to walk back, and I see I'm in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. I said, out of nowhere, a guy comes by on a tricycle and says, he was like an angel. He said, "Would you like a ride somewhere, sir?" I said, "Yes, sure." And he took me back to the hotel. There are angels or angelic things that happen in life. And there are bad things that happen to us, push us off cliffs, keep our feet from falling off cliffs. Good things and bad things happen. You get what I'm saying? SpaceX. We use Starlink on this airplane. It's a friend's jet, unnamed friend. And I was told it has Starlink. I said, thanks to the genius of Elon Musk. I thought about this. All our life we hear, it's not rocket science, because we know rocket science is about as complex as you can get, like brain surgery, right? It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. So now we have the greatest rocket scientist, business manager in American history, and the left hates him. Instead, they glorify a black guy who stabs another kid in the stomach, in the heart with a knife with one thrust. This is the Democrat Party. This is the Democrat Party. How did that black racist who killed the white boy, the unarmed white boy, learn to kill someone with one thrust? That's not easy to know how to do. He must have practiced a little somewhere on a range or at home with a bag that the father gave him. Anyway, folks, when I get to Florida, I will tune you in. Please go to the Michael Savage Nation podcast. I changed it a few times. The Michael Savage podcast, Savage Nation podcast. There's like 500 episodes. Today's episode is of extreme interest to me about the damage that pornography has done to the youth by a real expert on the subject, not by an industry spokesman. And of course, if you want to listen to it, you learn a lot. I have nothing more to add. I'm not going to do the news for you. Get that from anyone. I'd like to show you the dog, but so let sleeping dogs lie. Just let the sleeping dogs lie. So if you have any comments to make, by all means, you can make them. I'm going to tune off. Yes, it is. It's a G5. It's a nice plane. It's much quieter than a G4, by the way. Yep. Friend's plane, paid my fair share, and I earned it. You didn't pay for it. So I had something else on my mind I wanted to talk about, but I don't have the item in front of me, and I don't want to go rustling around for it. Maybe later I will show you the book that I chose to read on this vacation. We're still going to do the 2 podcasts. Hey, did anyone see my Newsmax TV show last night? It was over the top great, one of my better ones. It was about the black racist murderer who knifed the unarmed white boy. So listen to this. So the black kid is in the wrong tent at the wrong time. They come up to him and say, "You're in the wrong seat." An argument ensues. The unarmed white boy is stabbed with one thrust and killed. So he's killed now, and he's now the perpetrator of the crime. And the black kid is the victim, along with the scumbags who are representing him. Can you believe it? That's the world that we're living in. That's the world we're living in. Where's he going to find the jury of his peers? That's what I want to know. You want to show Huxley? Come here, Huxley. Come here, boy. Can we get him up here? Everybody wants to see. Come here, Huxley. Come here, Huxley. Come here, Huxley. Huxley. Come here, Bubby. Okay, I'm keeping you off the screen.
I don't mind.
I know. Don't come within the camera. If you'd like to be anonymous, I'm going to let it go. You are in the camera if I take my hand away. So you're the anonymous one. If you walk here, I'll get him. Okay, just go here. He'll follow you. Stand there. Now I got my Huxley. Come here, boy. Come here. Say hello. There's Huxley, Teddy's replacement. Say hello. He's actually a poodle, but he's bigger. He's got bigger feet, thicker bones than Teddy. He's a good boy. He's not as smart. He's got beautiful, beautiful eyes. Come here, honey, show your eyes. Some dogs have human eyes.
Hello.
He's looking now.
He's looking at me.
Huxley. Say hello to him so he looks at you. He'll look
Hey, Huxley. Oh, what a sweetie pie. Yes. What a good boy.
Okay, we're going to put him down. What a beautiful boy. Another hour to go. It's always the last hour. I remember when I used to fly home from Florida to San Francisco. It's always an hour longer because you're into headwinds. And once it was an hour and a half longer because 130 mile an hour headwinds coming at us from the west. So it was a 6.5 hour flight. Going east is 5 hours, 4.5. And Teddy could hold it in for 5 hours. He was trained. He knew they have a GPS in their heads. You ever drive around with your dog and you notice as you're turning, you can see their heads picking up on the GPS signals. I guess they have these amazing chips in their brain, and they can feel where you're going, and they can see it in their face. I love animals to watch their reaction. So Teddy could last. He knew, 5 hours, but bing, that was the end of it. The dog lives with, the missus. And no, he's not I know he looks like a cross, but he's got AKC papers. He's actually a pure poodle. I don't care what he is. I actually see bigger feet than a poodle. There's bigger, webs in the feet. Whatever he is, I love him as a creature. Are those green olives behind you? Where are their green olives? I don't see green. No, I had a cup of coffee, water. I almost never drink on an airplane, especially going east. Now going home, maybe I'll drink a bottle of wine or a half. Try never to drink alcohol on an airplane. You're dehydrated anyway. So just avoid alcohol, drink lots of water. And that's eat almost nothing. No, Huxley's 3 years old. 3 years old. No, it's G5, not a Challenger 604. You want new videos with Huxley, huh? Okay, so Huxley's a beautiful creature. I since Teddy died, I don't want to do it. I don't want to have another dog in my life. I can't go through another death. It was enough. Snowy died. I mean, I've had dogs since I'm a child. And when Snowy died, I said never again. Then I got Teddy. It took me 2 years to let him in my life. Then Teddy lived with me for 15 years. I wrote a book about him called Teddy and Me, Confessions of a Service Human. I'm surprised no one stole that yet. And then when the day Teddy died, I'll never do this again. The vet talked me into euthanizing him because he was very, very sick and all. You need to go by. I'll pull this in. It was the worst experience of my life to supervise the death of my dog. I don't recommend it. It's almost better to just let them suffer and die naturally than holding a dog that trusts you your whole life and looking in its eye. Will I put a needle in him like Dr. Death? Never. So before that doctor came out to put the needle in him and euthanize him, I went out on the deck, looked at the boat that he had been on with me for many years, and looked at the bay, and I started to talk to him, and he screamed. He let out a scream. He knew he was going to die. He knew it. He let out a scream. The whole neighborhood heard the scream. He knew something was going to happen. These dogs, I'll never do it again. It's the worst thing I ever did in my life. So, anyway, he's with me now. He's 3 years old. He lives with the missus. And no animals for me. I don't even have a pet flea in the house. I don't even have a pet mite. I feed seagulls, wild seagulls who I've gotten to know. Every year, new ones come up. You see the hatchlings come up, and you see them. They grow. I give them a little bread. I know it's supposed to be bad for them. You have to understand something about animal life that all of you purists don't understand. Of course, they should be eating fish. I get it, and that's what they mainly eat. I give them a little tiny snack. Sometimes I see a bird, the lone bird, like a pelican. At the end of the day, you'll see a flock go by, and they're going to roost somewhere. And then you'll see a lone pelican flying alone after the little pack. He hasn't gotten any food that day. You can see it, and he's still looking. and he's starving to death. Starvation is the natural state of animals, by the way. Wild animals. The natural state of wild animals is starvation almost all the time. And we can talk about human diet for that reason and why fasting does make sense because the natural state for humans is the same, which is to be in semi starvation most of the time. You'll live longer, you'll be healthier, less inflammation, and all of that. I just can't do it myself. I don't fast. I hate fasting. Even on religious holidays, I was never a faster. I couldn't do it. And I won't do it. I'm at a certain age and I have my own lifestyle, my own way of living. I know what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Fasting is a wonderful idea. I don't do it though. So once in a while, I'll throw them a little piece of bread. Big deal. I know they should eat fish. I read all the books. Expands in the stomach. It doesn't kill them. There's not one bird's dead because I threw them a little piece of bread. Okay. So I watch them and I see that the fat bird gets all the bread. I've said this to you before. One thing about wild animals is they're not communists. They don't share. You could throw bread to the fattest bird, and sometimes I'll throw 3, 4 pieces at once. He will chase the other ones away and not let them get a single one. It's like bang, 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 bang. They don't want the other animal to get anything. They want it all for themselves. They're all fat capitalists, and they don't want to share. And that's what I've noticed. They don't share. I have to trick the fat bird by throwing another piece at fatso, and then throw a spray out to the left for the little ones to get some. Very interesting to watch animals and animals eating. Anyway, thanks for being with me. Just wanted to wrap a little bit. One eye is swollen. Doctor, take care of yourself. Which eye? One of the reasons I left California for this trip is I've had the worst allergies of my life. Out of the park, severe, debilitating allergies. I can't take it anymore. It's the worst of my life. I've had allergies all my life, and they get worse as you get older because your immune system gets diminished as we get older. And the allergies got out of control. I can't breathe sometimes. It's horrible. So I'm going to go to the ocean and allegedly stay a longer time this time. I'm going to force myself. Now, I have a very close friend who's very close to the inner circle at MAL. And he said we're having a big thing over there on Mother's Day. And the big man may be there, and he's going to want to see you. And so I brought one suit in a suit bag. I always carry one suit. If you bring a suit, you got to use it. I figure I'll go over there once at the big. I'd like to go for that event, but it's mainly for the air. My mother lived here in the last years of her life in this area. My sister lives here. My niece lives here. I have family here. I don't have family in the San Francisco area. My son lives in Miami. I'm going to go on his boat, by the way. If he lets me, I will put this laptop on his new boat. He's got a beautiful boat. He knows I'm a boater, and he really did it to the nth degree. So we may go. Now there's the Grand Prix, the Miami Grand Prix. This is coming up next Saturday. I'm not going. I hate crowds. He said we can go tickets. I don't want to sit and watch the cars go by. I'd rather watch it on TV at home. But I do want to go out on the boat on Biscayne Bay. I really don't want to go to the Bahamas or anything. It's big boats, 120 feet with a crew. That I'm going to do with you this week, God willing. I mean, I love boats. I'll take you down with the camera in the engine room, talk to the captain, talk to the engineer, talk to the crew. I'm a boat maniac. I don't have a boat currently. Nothing, not even a rowboat. So I got rid of the dog, got rid of the boat. I think it's time to re-engage with the things I love in life, like boats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? Boats, dogs, and other things. Okay, folks, I've had my fun. Made everyone run away. Even the flight attendant ran out of the cabin. She didn't want to listen to this anymore. It's nice. It's like talking to friends. That's why I do this. You know, you get people listening, and it's not 12 million people. It doesn't matter. I told you. I have a cult following of followers since the radio days. I'm an acquired taste. I'm not for everyone. Most people under 50 don't even understand what I'm talking about. My points of reference are completely lost on them. They don't read books. They didn't watch the films that I read. They don't know who the hell my heroes are. They know nothing. Gornish, zilch, nada, nothing. They live like nanosecond to nanosecond from one show to the other. So I talk to the people who understand me and understand my references, and that would be you. So thanks for listening. I'm going to end the stream now. Let's see what's 10 after 2. Oh, we're over the Gulf of America now. I still call it the Gulf of Mexico. I'm sorry. I almost said the right thing. I'm 34, but listening to you. I do have people in their 30s who listen since they're 15. Yeah, but there's so many movies I grew up on and books and entertainers that you don't know about. You know, that would be a great podcast. The books and movies and stuff that influenced me, going all the way back to the Lone Ranger and Hopalong Cassidy, Boom Boom, the Two Guns, you know. But if I tell you Lenny Bruce, no one knows who he is anymore. If I say Mort Saul, no one knows who he is anymore. If I talk about how smart these guys were, how they changed the whole world of comedy, most people under 50 don't know who they were. But they did influence my worldview and my style. And maybe my style is no longer popular. I don't know. I can't change just to be cool. There's nothing stupider than an old guy trying to be relevant. I am who I am, who I am. Take it or leave it. Thanks for listening. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll be back. With God's will and your viewership, Mike shall return.